course, this was a much anticipated maiden budget by the finance minister. And some people, as you've heard it, for the budget, a few not so much, saying it wasn't so much of an inspiration. But for now, let's get reaction to that budget speech. We cross now to our reporter, Nozintombi Miya, who is in Melville. Nozintombi Miya, I don't know how much of people have been listening to that budget speech, but what's the reaction you are getting on the ground?
Yeah, thanks so much, Unati. Not many people really listening to the finer details of the speech. But one thing is certainly clear that they picked up is the fact that sin taxes, excise taxes have definitely gone up, and it's definitely generated quite a bit of buzz and quite a bit of conversation where we are. And we do know, though, Unati, that the Liquor Traders Organization has given immediate reaction to the news of the increase of excise taxes, and they're not happy. They're extremely unhappy, and they feel as if it is a double punishment for their industry, and they're calling for a government to step in, intervene, and to give more reforms. And what's quite interesting, Unati, I'm going to read some of the excise tax numbers, or the sin tax increases that we've seen. And what's important about the fact that sin taxes have gone up is the fact that, these are on products that government is trying to discourage consumers from buying or from using. So what they do is they add an additional tax on the cost of a product to discourage those users. For example, we're seeing here that a 340 milligram can of beer or cider is going to cost a consumer on average 11 cents more. And that a bottle of wine, a 750 milliliter bottle of wine, is going to cost 70 cents more. Sparkling wine, 76 cents more. And a bottle of spirits, this was quite interesting, a bottle of spirits, which would be something like whiskey. And it was quite interesting when the minister made the reference, he said a bottle of whiskey, to quite a bit of grumbles in Parliament earlier in his speech. He's saying that a bottle of whiskey is going to cost almost 5 Rand more, 4 Rand 83 cents. It will be, 4 Rand 83 cents more expensive. And if you're a nicotine addict or you enjoy cigarettes, it's going to cost you an additional 1 Rand. And obviously, these are the increases that the minister spoke to in his speech. And this is something that's obviously not necessarily welcome by consumers and by patrons. And where we're standing, Unati, in 7th Street in Melville, at a very popular restaurant called Shai Shai. It's really the lifeblood, or one of the lifeblood restaurants here in Melville. The consumers that we spoke to were quite unhappy with the increases that they heard us tell them about. And before I speak to the manager of this establishment, the restaurant, Eddie Sibande, he did organize something a little bit special. I'm just going to ask my camera colleague, Sia, to show you just behind Eddie is Brian. Hi, Brian. How are you? Brian's a bit far, so he can't really hear us. Brian is going to organize a signature cocktail from Shai Shai. And as Brian is busy with that cocktail, we're going to continue with our conversation with Eddie. Eddie, thank you so much for joining me. We're seeing the numbers. You heard me talk about the numbers of increases that have just gone up in the sin taxes. It's going to cost more to have a pint of beer from tonight. This can't be easy news for your customers.
Yeah, that's bad for the customers, honestly, because ever since the pandemic, we haven't picked up yet with the business. And we need to just at least rise and see how the business moving forward. So if the prices are raising up now, since we are in the movement of picking up, that's going to affect us as business. So we were hoping and praying that things will change and our customers will understand with the government. Hoping and wishing the government will ease with the taxes and the VAT. Yeah, that's our wish.
Let's talk. This is now the second time we've spoken in about 6 months, right? And the last time we spoke, issues in this business had been around getting enough patrons to come in. This is a double blow. Not only are the prices of alcohol, cigarettes, your basic tray increasing, you're seeing that from last year you have not seen a pickup or an increase in customers. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, true on that. Yeah, ever since the rise of the curfew, We thought maybe the business would change and it's going to be much easier and we're going to function so well. But there's no changes at all. And we miss our regular customers. Since the curfew, we've never seen them for long. We're trying to advertise on our medias to try to get back our customers as before, as we full capacity of our customers, but things are not changing at all. And now we're scared since the prices are going up, probably it's going to be worse.
Yeah. When we spoke a little bit off air, you said you're seeing more people coming in asking for jobs than you are seeing customers.
Oh, yes, true on that, yeah. The employment, because almost every day, 7 people come every day looking for jobs. And it's difficult to hire them because it's too quiet nowadays. The business is very low. So we cannot increase the employment in our businesses. So I feel pity for those people because they go down the street, not only us as Shy Shop, but down the street, they cannot get employment. Their business is very, very, very low.
What do you think government needs to do to implement actual reforms? Aside from reviewing these excise taxes or these sin taxes, what else do you think government can do? Is government coming to the party in helping with salaries, paying salaries? Are you getting any assistance from any quarters? What conversations are you as business owners in Melville having around more assistance from government?
We're not getting any assistance from the government, honestly speaking, but we wish and hope that the government will create the jobs, more jobs, even projects for the people who are not employed, because that's affecting us as business because the crime is getting higher. So we need the government to do something to the project so that they can hire more people to keep the people out of the street. Because every time the tourists, I'll give you an example, like the last week, the tourists just came from Spain. The first time here, and the phone got stolen. Just because people are desperate to live, so they can do anything to live. So crime is getting higher each and every day because there's zero employment. That's honest.
So before we continue, Brian, thank you so much. Before you go, just tell us what the signature cocktail is here. I see that you've put 2 alcoholic beverages here.
Yes, that's a shark cocktail, which is there's Malibu inside there, and a Bacardi, and a dash of lime.
And over there, what you have?
Here I've got 500 mils, which is a black draft.
So how much is a cocktail like that? How much does it cost?
It costs 65 rand. And the
here?
black draft it costs 37 rand.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well done, Brian. Eddie, interesting enough, if a beer is going up by about 11 cents, if I come here with 100 rands, if I came here yesterday with 100 rands, how many beers would I be able to get?
About 3 beers.
About 3. Tonight, if I come with the increase in an additional 11 cents on the cost of your beer, how many beers am I likely to get?
That'll be less. That will be less 3 now.
So there are about 2 beers.
2 beers, yes.
And this is really the problem that you're seeing, that, your customers are coming here, they're already financially constrained, and you're asking them to pay additional money for alcohol or for, whatever vice they've got. It must be problematic for you as a business owner.
Yeah, it is, and especially when you talk about the waiters, they need to get tips. So now if they're living on tips and commissions, so people will spend less and the tips will be low. So that's going to affect our staff in general. So I don't know about the customers going to come. Probably they're going to come less and spend less and go because they open bottle store. Probably they'll prefer going there. Yes.
So, Brian, the picture that you're painting is a terrible picture. The taxes or the prices have gone up. We're seeing that less customers are coming. We're also seeing that you're struggling to pay staff, but there's just simply too many people coming to the restaurant, hoping to get a job, but you're just not getting patrons. So going forward, looking at the issue of crime as well, what other interventions do you think government really, really, really needs to take into consideration and start putting into place to make businesses such as yours start thriving?
Okay, we need them to give support on our government. They must visit the local companies and check how we people function, how the business functions, especially in Melville. That's where I worked for a long time. So to check if we, as like the meetings with the owners, because we've got an organization as Melville as a group, to meet or send whoever they send to meet with the owners and check what can we improve in our businesses so that we keep the employment high, so that we keep the business flowing and keep the standards as it is. But now I don't know if we can do that, then it can help us.
And you haven't had any reaction or any feedback from government? Nobody from government, despite your calls, despite your requests for meetings, nobody from government has said, okay, guys, let's sit around a table and let's try and work something out to try and help you guys get back on your feet?
No, never. We've never got such.
This must be terrible for you as business owners. What is the thought? What do you guys think?
No, I think they should pull up. To be honest with you, the government should help deeply. They should step in deeply. And that will serve as a community itself. Yeah. Because when you look at it, it's so worrying for us to keep opening until late. We never know who's going to come in, who's going to do what, robberies and so many things. So the government must step in and trying to see, and let's equalize with their ideas and our own ideas as a business around Melville. Maybe we can come up with something and solve this problem. Yes.
But for now, we know that the sin taxes kick in from now, actually, from the minister's budget speech. Are you going to have any specials for your patrons to ease the blow before you have to hike the prices?
We will try by all means to do that because we need the patrons back. Yeah, so it's a bit worrying about the prices, but we will use the media by all means necessary to try to make the special. If it's, for example, if it's a steak and the beer for free, so that the patrons will come back, get used to our prices and the new prices. That's our hope. Yes.
So, Eddie, before we jump into this wonderful surprise that you've given us, I'm going to let you go there. Unathi, some really interesting points coming out of the conversation that I'm having with Eddie, that in spite of the fact that the excise taxes have been increased, small businesses, restaurant owners are complaining yet again that they have been left out. They're the red-headed stepchild in South Africa, and they feel that they're not getting sufficient support from government. Instead of government coming to the party and helping them and easing their way of business, they feel that government is definitely making it harder and harder for them to stay afloat. It's absolutely worrying that restaurant owners are seeing more people coming in asking for jobs than there are patrons. And this is what we're seeing in restaurants across the country as a result, obviously, of the impact of lockdown. And now what we're going to be seeing, a double whammy with the increase in the sin taxes. Unathi?
Nozintombi, thank you so much for that report. Of course, it does seem like there is a somber atmosphere where you are. And in fact, the National Liquor Traders convener, Ndimane, also issuing out a statement saying this was a missed opportunity for the minister in his efforts to support small black-owned businesses. Nozintombi, that's where we have to leave it for now. Thank you so much for that.